Alright, here's how we shot this commercial on an Xbox Kinect. So a couple months back when we were working on pre-production on this, Nick and I were sending each other ideas and different references, and we stumbled across an Instagram reel of a guy shooting a concert on an Xbox Kinect. I think later we learned that he actually wasn't shooting on the Kinect, he actually recreated the look in After Effects, but Nick and I thought that it would be a fun challenge to actually try and shoot a commercial on the Kinect. Obviously, we also shot primarily on my Alexa Mini, but shooting a couple shots on the Kinect was something different and it was absolutely a blast. We shot this in Phoenix, Arizona over the course of 2 days. On day one, Nick and I both spent the day scouting, driving around, picking up duvetine, all of our equipment, trying to get the pool ready, testing water housing, getting our lighting setup done, and testing the color grade. So for this one, the goal was to have it feel kind of like a fever dream sequence in a black void. So we started with a blank slate garage, and we wound up hanging a bunch of duvetine on the walls, and then also laying some on the floor. Next, we went on Marketplace, and we bought a treadmill. We then removed the arms so that it would be easier in post for the VFX house to be able to see the talent's entire body. As far as lighting goes, my buddy Alex was the gaffer. He used his lighting package, and for the most part, for the void sequences, we used a very soft top light, and then on the sides we put 2 aperture ADCs. Alex then was able to program all of them in blackout so that they would hit when we wanted them to hit. We also used a very high-powered flashlight to get a couple nice little flares in there. This shoot was way more VFX heavy than anything else I've ever worked on, and so shooting a bunch of plates and Nick communicating with our VFX artists while we were shooting, making sure we're setting them up to succeed in post, was a very fun challenge that I've never been a part of before. As far as the underwater shots go, we used my buddy Ethan's underwater housing, and we used an FX3 for that, same setup that we used on the Japan project. For some of those crazy sequences where he's running through the void, we shot in the middle of the desert, in the middle of night. We attached a very bright spotlight to a drone and then flew above him, and then Nick was hanging out the back of the truck, holding the R2 while I was using the remote head, while Jasmine was pulling focus. On a project like this, a lot of the craziness is added in post, and so I think it's important to shoot in a very intentional way. And so one really fun method that we used was, on my Alexa, I set the project frame rate to 24 frames per second, but we recorded in 3 frames per second, and then on top of that, I changed my shutter from 180 to 360, and then when you play that back in 24 frames per second, it looks absolutely insane. This gave our editor a lot of different textures. We found ourselves doing this quite a bit, and I'm super stoked on how it turned out. Something that I also did on top of this was, while I was shooting that way, I would actually pull the iris so that we would get some changes in exposure, and I thought that looked cool as well. Overall, this one was very fun. It was very different than what I was used to. Nick is an incredible director, and I'm super stoked with the entire team. Everyone absolutely crushed it, and the edit looks incredible. And yeah, that's it. See you guys next time. Bye.